Hello everybody, Joe here from the Chart Guys. I've been a trader and technical analyst for over 20,000 hours, and I'm here to talk about the markets as bears scored another big win today, bringing the S&P 500 below the weekly 12 EMA and knocking off the semiconductor sector into monthly consolidation, which was the last major sector to join the downside party. So let's dive into the charts and take a look at what we've got going on here. So looking at S&P 500 futures, we are now below the weekly 12 EMA, and that more confidently creates space for bears to form a weekly lower high compared to 53.33 next bounce. And then the big question from there will be, do bears confirm a weekly downtrend to send us into deeper monthly consolidation, or are bulls able to keep the weekly uptrend intact and have this be a quick monthly bull flag? We know we've got a lot of space to work with still for this to be a bull flag. As long as we're holding monthly 12 EMA, in my book, this consolidation is going to be healthy. So we can still see another good 4% of downside and have things continue to be healthy. So step one, though, is just going to be getting a daily bounce underway. If we look at the daily here, it has been a daily stair step straight off the top. And I'm liking the 4-hour 12 EMA resistance on futures. So bulls need to break the daily stair step, get over 4-hour 12 EMA, to try to shape up a daily bounce. And then we'll certainly be looking for a daily lower high, looking to daily 12 EMA to potentially act as resistance, and taking note that we have a bear cross of our EMAs, pretty similar to our last round of monthly consolidation at this point. If we look back here, decent move off the top, bear cross of EMAs, and then those acted as resistance. Bulls pushed up and over a little bit, but this was just our weekly lower high. If we go back, that was the move below weekly 12 EMA, creating room for the lower high, and then bears confirmed the downtrend to see deeper monthly consolidation. Is that what we're going to see here? I don't know. We just got to go one step at a time. So to get some intraday levels, we'll go to SPY for that. Similar daily stair step on the way down, and we have a fresh hourly lower high resistance at 504.03. Bulls aren't going anywhere unless they get up and over that. Looking at support of 499.12, the low of today. And then we've got a little gap fill down here at 497.37. If bears continue this move down, daily oversold conditions will be coming into play sooner than later. Right now, they are in the mid 493s, and we'll look to see, does a gap down end up marking the bottom of this pullback for the S&P 500? We haven't had a single gap down on the whole way, so we've had multiple closes near the lows of days, but bears unable to get the gap down. Does a gap down end up being that final exhaustion push? Time will tell. Looking at QQQ futures, NQ, it's a very similar deal. We know we're consolidating on the monthly. We're down here testing 17,623. We've broken it by $8 at this point, but bears with a lot of room for a weekly lower high, and it's going to be a very similar deal to the S&P 500. Can bears confirm a weekly downtrend from here? Or do bulls bounce big enough to look to regain the weekly uptrend? As far as our daily time frame, daily stair step down, definitely relatively weak here today compared to other sectors. We had semiconductors and tech as our lead bears, and we had XLF as the lead bull. Not that it was bullish, but it wasn't going down as much as peers. So looking at the 4-hour 12 EMA on NQ, that is another very nice guide. We'll be looking for a 4-hour lower high. We'll be looking for 4-hour 12 EMA to continue to act as resistance. And bulls need to get up and over for a daily bounce. And similar to the S&P 500, we have our daily EMAs cross bearish. So have to take note of the momentum shift. Bulls have had a wonderful 6 months since October onwards. And now we have a momentum shift. So got to see what bears are about. And that is that. So daily oversold conditions here, also not too far away, but I mean, that's a decent move down still. Another 2.3% away on NQ. And let's go to QQQ for some intraday levels. And similar to SPY, no gap downs on this move down. We do have this little gap here filled now at 425.70. And we have an hourly lower high resistance right off the 12 EMA at 429.25. So it's one of those situations where burden of proof is on bulls in the shorter term to get some daily bounces underway. Burden of proof is on bears, bigger picture, to try to see monthly consolidation follow through. So moving on to IWM, we know we're also consolidating on the monthly, but here we come into monthly 12 EMA. So if bulls were to show up soon, this monthly consolidation would remain healthy. And a big question is, we have XLV and IWM nearing monthly 12 EMAs. If that holds, then SPY and QQQ are likely to be quick monthly bull flags unless we see some serious rotation. So if SPY and QQQ need to get to monthly 12 EMAs, then XLV and IWM are going to get very, it's going to be unhealthy monthly consolidation. So we'll see if IWM, and let's just look at it now, XLV can save the markets and bounce off their monthly 12 EMAs as IWM nears daily oversold conditions and XLV kind of grinds into daily oversold conditions. So let's go back to IWM here. Looking at our daily, we had a little bit of relative strength overnight, had relative strength yesterday, and it led to a minor gap up this morning, but then just all bears from there. So high of today going to be key resistance 196.62. Looking at the hourly, we've got hourly lower high resistance at 195.21 and bears confirming an hourly bear flag into the end of the day. So if we were to see another leg down, daily oversold conditions would be coming into play right around 190.50, which is right around that monthly 12 EMA. So before we move on here, I want to shout out my Twitter. A lot of people have been asking me to make a Twitter. I haven't wanted to. I finally did it. Junglefunk, JUNGLEFUNK_. That is the Twitter. Gonna be posting technical analysis, random life stuff, and a little bit of a unfiltered funk. So if you want that, link will be in the comments here. And yeah, we'll see what social media is all about. Been resisting it for a long time, but I'm here now. So let's see, moving on to XLF, our lead bull on the day. And maybe we'll just call it the weakest bear on the day because obviously not bullish, but stayed in a daily inside bar while pretty much everybody else went to lower lows. And we know we're consolidating on the monthly, and we're now losing the weekly 12 EMA, not as much as the S&P 500, but bears starting to become hopeful that they can form a weekly lower high compared to 442.22 next bounce. And just watching this daily downtrend and daily stairstep, if bulls can break the high of today, tomorrow, 39.95, that would be a daily bounce getting underway. We have our EMAs cross bearish here as well, and anything below 40.74 would be a daily lower high, and we'll just go one step at a time and see if we can get these daily bounces underway. And then the next thing we'll be watching from there is, okay, so we got daily bounces underway. Are they weak daily bounces where the downtrend is likely to continue, or are they strong enough to create room for a daily high or low to try to get a daily uptrend and get some weekly bounces underway? So as always, just one step at a time and letting the bears flex a little bit. They got their teeth kicked in for months, and now it's their turn to play. So gotta see what they are about here. Moving on to XLV, we know we are in a weekly downtrend. We have monthly consolidation underway, and we're testing monthly, or we're nearing monthly 12 EMA. So we had some inside bars, and they broke bear today without much follow through. It's not like it was snapped back up to new highs or anything, but it definitely looks like bears are kind of slowing down here a little bit in interesting action. You usually don't see candles like that where you close at the low, open up way higher, close at the low, open up way higher, close at the low. Now 4 days in a row. Pretty crazy. But just watching this daily stair step, watching the hourly downtrend. We got hourly lower high resistance at 139.10. And bulls got to get through that as step one to shifting any momentum. And then it's going to be the same thing for most all of these names here. What does the next daily bounce look like? Is it big enough to create room to try to confirm a daily trend change and get some weekly bounces underway? We will see. Moving on to SMH. So the last bull warrior has now entered monthly consolidation. Granted, it is marginally at this point, but we saw each sector get knocked off one by one. And this is a very important concept to drill into your mind because we see it across sectors. We see it within sectors, from individual name to individual name. We see it in the crypto space with the altcoins and Bitcoin. And how this monthly consolidation shook out across the broad market has been textbook. We had XLV get knocked off first along with XBI. Then we had IWM and the Dow get knocked off. Then we had XLF get knocked off. Then we had QQQ, then SPY, and now SMH. So that's pretty much the full gang there. And the true last bull warrior is Bitcoin. It has not consolidated on the monthly yet. So we'll talk about that a little bit later in the vid. But SMH now consolidating on the monthly. We had a 2-day equilibrium and is now broken bearish. And if bulls want to save it, they're going to have to hold weekly 12 EMA. So while we are consolidating on the monthly, we've only broken support by a skosh and we're testing weekly 12 EMA. So there's ammo for bulls to try to show up, but they're going to have to show up now if they're going to hold weekly 12 EMA. This is technically a little weekly downtrend, and we'll just trust that trend. So lead bear here today, daily downtrend as a guide for this weekly pullback, and close at low of day. Hourly lower high resistance 215.01. Burden of proof on bulls in the short term, burden of proof on bears, bigger picture. That's the theme across everybody here. So looking at XBI, we are pulling back on the monthly, continuing in an area with a lack of support here at this point, and just keeping things nice and simple. We know it's been one of our more bearish sectors for over a month here at this point, and very clear daily downtrend, daily 12 EMA resistance, daily stair step. Got to break the high of the previous day to get a daily bounce underway. Then we'll be looking for a lower high, watching 12 EMA for resistance. So looking at the VIX, there's definitely something here that could lead to some market bounce, but the burden of proof is so firmly on bulls. We've got this uptrend resistance line, kind of this rising, like broadening wedge type deal, or megaphone, whatever you want to call it. And we're seeing a very clean reaction at that. So that gives broad market bulls hope that, maybe we can get a daily bounce underway, but burden of proof remains on them. The correlation with the VIX does favor broad market bulls because the VIX is no longer pushing up to new highs despite us seeing, 1.22% down on QQQ, 0.6% on SPY, but the burden of proof is on bulls, and we'll certainly be looking for a daily higher low on the VIX, but something to keep an eye on there. Looking at gold, not a ton going on here today, pretty low volatility, and daily 12 EMA going to continue to be our guide here. So daily consolidation is underway. We got a double bottom at 23.37, 23.40, and that's key support. If that were to be lost, we'd have weekly consolidation shaping up, which would not be shocking after the move that we've had off of the lows. 21%, we had a little weekly bull flag here, but hardly any consolidation after 21%. So burden of proof is on bears to get that underway, and bulls are pleased to be hanging out at the highs with the broad market getting smoked off the top for sure. So it's all about this range here. We're looking at 23.37 support and all-time high resistance of 24.48, and just keeping it simple with that. Looking at silver, our 12-hour EQ continues to tighten. Actually, let me unadjust that. So we got support potentially coming into play at 28.03, and then double bottom down here at 27.64. Going to have resistance at high of today, 28.89.5, then 29.10, and the high of the move, 29.905. So just watching this tightening range, looking for a volatility to come back into silver. Not that it really left. I mean, we're a bit spoiled right now with how volatile the moves are. Like this move off the low, 5% in a few 12-hour bars. That's pretty nice. But just going to watch this continue to tighten up. Let's take a look at GDX, see what we got going on here. So GDX lost the daily uptrend. That sent us to weekly consolidation. So the question is here now, are bears going to confirm a daily downtrend to see deeper weekly consolidation, or are bulls going to bounce big enough on the daily to try to regain the daily uptrend and have this be a weekly bull flag? Definitely love to see the green day on GDX, because we had the S&P 500 absolutely bogged today, and we had gold red today, yet GDX is green. So metals bulls like to see that, because oftentimes your higher risk assets really tell the story of what's going on under the hood. And that is, GDX is one of those higher risk assets in the metal space. So you like to see that. But the other higher risk asset is silver, and it is, a bit weaker here today. If we look at the 4-hour, we had a nice move up through the morning, but regular trading hours was pretty much all bears there. So let's see, oil bears came out today in a big way. We had daily 12 EMA support, and that was continuing to act as support. We broke our daily higher lows to get us into weekly consolidation on Monday, but bulls snapped it back up and kept that consolidation healthy. That changed here today. So we're seeing deeper weekly consolidation. If it holds the 12 EMA, then it remains healthy, but we are looking for a monthly lower high compared to 95.03. So wouldn't be shocked if this was to be a weekly bull flag. I wouldn't anticipate much follow through. If we were to get back through 87.67, if bears keep control and take us down below weekly 12 EMA, then that increases the odds of the monthly lower high, because then that would be bears creating room for a weekly lower high and potential to confirm a weekly downtrend and get that monthly lower high set. And the longer we tighten up here, which it's still a very wide range at this point, but we could tighten up into 2025 on this chart without a doubt. So we will see what we end up getting. What else we got? Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla is seeing a little bit of relative strength. It's kind of like XLF. Is it really relative strength? No, it's like being a weak bear. We know it's been a lead bear for a long time, but we also know we're looking for a quarterly higher low. Anything over 101.81 would be one. Burden of proof firmly on bulls. We've got a daily downtrend, daily inside bar kind of. We broke the high of yesterday by a skosh, no follow through, and like many names, burden of proof on bulls. Got to break the high of today, tomorrow to try to get a daily bounce underway, and gotta try to confirm a daily uptrend and actually see follow through on it. Last time we had a clear daily uptrend was back here. This is technically a daily uptrend, but anytime that happens on a gap, you can't really believe it. You want to see these levels break during regular trading hours. You want to see them break during regular trading hours. So keep an eyes on Tesla. We do have earnings. That's the bummer. We got earnings coming up, so you can't really safely position now for that. So what else we got? SMCI, 2-day tightening range is a beauty. High, low, lower high, higher low. Anything below 1106 would be another lower high. And, is this going to follow suit with SMH and all of the other sectors by getting monthly consolidation underway? We know it will not be shocking after the move of 442% off of our last monthly higher low, but burden of proof is on bears, and bulls loving to just be chilling at the highs while so much of the market takes some pretty serious heat at this point. So we'll take a look at NVDA while we're talking about it as well. Holding on pretty decent. Holding weekly 12 EMA. If weekly 12 EMA remains support, bulls are okay bigger picture. And that's the case for a lot of big tech right now. It's the smaller tech names that are bringing us down. If we look at MSFT, we're still holding weekly 12 EMA. If we look at Google, we're not even consolidating on the weekly at this point. If we look at Amazon, still well above weekly 12 EMA. So if these names were to weaken and kind of join the downside without some serious rotation into the smaller QQQ names, then that would be some fuel to send QQQ deeper on monthly consolidation. So a bright spot today, what's up with this watch list? You look at it, everybody bogged, and then you've got MSOS up 6.25%. So, whatever the fresh rumors are, I don't really know the details on that. It has led to a very nice bounce on MSOS. And, we could see the relative strength the past few days. If you look at what the S&P 500 was doing the few prior days, and you look at MSOS just balancing out, is it the rumors that made us go up today? Yeah, there's some element of that, but the charts tell the story. The charts tell the story and following through on that story. So can't go too hog wild because we are looking for a daily lower high compared to 1034. But bulls hopeful that they've created enough space to try to confirm a daily uptrend next time we consolidate and get a weekly higher low set. So that would be fine and dandy, but we've got to acknowledge that this is a rising wedge. This is a weekly rising wedge. And unless we get some news, I think their bulls will be hard pressed to break through the upside of this without some news. This is a bearish pattern looking for a potential quarterly lower high. So we just got to respect that that is what it is. But like everything else, we'll go one step at a time, and bulls are trying to shape up a weekly higher low. So all of the MSOs participated with this today, but Canadian names did not. CGC still just smoked daily stair step off the top. Tilray still struggling after earnings, and ACB continues to be the lead Canadian bull, but still not that bullish. Not that bullish. And Bitcoin. So we talked about SMH being the last bull warrior in the stock market and finally got knocked off today. Bitcoin is the true last bull warrior, along with those tech names that are still holding weekly 12 EMA, NVDA, SMCI, all of that. And Bitcoin looks very similar. Testing weekly 12 EMA, we did lose our little double bottom here today, but no follow through as bulls snapped up the 60K flush. And we'll look to see, does the Bitcoin show go on, or does it join everybody else in weekly or monthly consolidation? We got a bunch of alts consolidating on the monthly, obviously broad market consolidating on the monthly. For me, that points towards Bitcoin joining, but the burden of proof is on bears, bigger picture. It's the same story. Burden of proof on bulls in the short term to try to defend weekly 12 EMA, burden of proof on bears, bigger picture to try to get monthly consolidation underway. And obviously we'll be looking for a monthly higher low. So that is that. Hope everybody is faring well out there, and hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow. Got some end of video clip from a cold plunge on Monday night at my favorite spot in town here. So I will attach that, and I'll see you next time. Farewell.